Please make sure we're alive.
That that's totally our normal intro, by the way. So just so everyone knows, welcome everyone to episode 63 of the Last Place Fire Team Show. My name is Alan, and I have my two favorite co-hosts with me. I got Yendi, and I got Chris. How you gentlemen doing?
Doing all right.
As you can see, Chris is a new product. Can we hear that sound for Yendi
Wait, what the
again?
hell was that?
What?
No, you hear it.
Yeah, you
It's a
introduce
sound for
Yendi
you,
again.
Yendi.
You introduce him.
And we have Yendi. That's actually going to be our new shame sound. That's going to be it's
Good
going
idea.
to be fantastic. But we're happy to see you guys. I know all are busy. 4th of July was crazy. All that good stuff. Happy 4th of July weekend and day, all that good stuff. But we're here to talk some games like we normally do. On today's episode, we're going to talk about, is E3 necessary after watching those lackluster events? Um, Rockstar reportedly shelves games to work on GTA 6. And this is why microtransactions won't go away. That's a topic that I have, and we'll go into detail about that later. But let's do a little housekeeping before I ask the gentleman playing. If you guys go over to our YouTube, we have the Kenobi review. It's also on all the podcast networks. If you guys want to hear my review on the Kenobi series as a whole, go check that out. This coming week, we have a few videos, Stranger Things and Thor will be coming out at some point within this next, yeah, because Thor comes out on Thursday. And yeah, if you guys want to be a guest on where to find us, YouTube, email, Twitch, all that good stuff. So let's ask Yendi, how you been, man?
Good. I've
What you been playing?
let's see. Playing Call of
Watching
Duty. I've
too.
been playing Valorant. I played quite a few
Yeah.
games yesterday. Did really good. So I
That's how
stopped.
they get you.
I
That's how they
stopped.
get you.
Yep. Before I got worse, I ended on a good note. I don't know if it's just the player base going down in Call of Duty, but I've gotten quite a bit of BR wins lately, like a lot.
Mm,
Um,
that's
and
definitely
then
that.
It's the
yeah.
skill based matchmaking.
Yeah. Oh, so some games we get absolutely destroyed. Yeah. But anything else playing? No, that's it for playing. As far as watching, just finished Stranger Things, season 4. Um, we're currently watching The Boys, and then I think I finished something
Oh,
else,
the
another TV
boys.
show.
Okay.
Oh, I did finally finish Dark, which was cool. So if you do like time travel stuff, check it out. It's just be ready for an adventure. It's gonna take a while to get to to the conclusion. I don't think I've seen any movies, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
I kind of wanted to go see the the Rise of Gru movie, but this new TikTok trend has been ruining that, so I'm not going. So yeah, I don't know if you heard about it, but
So-
everybody's been
nope.
dressing up as suits. They dress up in suits. This
I
movie
saw
has
one.
gotten so much money from this, so they dress up in suits and go in. Right? I thought that was cool, but apparently there's more to it. They've been bringing like bananas in, and they all throw it at the screen at some point, and it's just stupid. I thought the suits thing, like a group of people walking in suits, was funny. I was like, okay, and then they got destructive. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I didn't know about that trend. I wasn't planning on watching that movie anyway, but I'm kind of tired of the Minions, not gonna lie. I feel like they've stretched their and I mean this is just from my standpoint. Obviously the kids love it, but I feel like as long as we've been dealing with them, I think I'm done with, like, I don't need any more movies. I'm done.
Yeah.
So that's just me. Chris, how you doing? How's everything? What you been playing? What you been watching?
I'm good. I thought I'd give my update to the stream here of what's been going on. We've been gone for a while. I haven't been on the debrief. I'll probably mention this again on the debrief. But my wife ended up in the hospital. Um, she's doing fine now, but we had a little bit of a scare. but she's doing a lot better. These past 2 days have been good for her, and she's been working and everything like that. So took the time off. Also been doing this 4th of July stuff, and I got all that finished as soon as that first shot went off yesterday in the parks. I was like, I was ready to pass out. I was so tired. It all hit me at once. But other than that, I've been good. I've been hanging in there. I've been reading and catching up on TV here and there. I've also gotten really into Resident Evil 2, the remake. I've been playing that on Steam Deck. That game is fantastic, and it's helping me get over my horror game fears. Like the jump scares are actually kind of funny to me.
They weren't funny when I was 7.
Yeah,
8,
no. If I play, there's no chance. Mr. Like whenever you get there and Mr. X lifts the helicopter, no. So
he shows up a lot more in that game than he did in the original.
Yeah,
because the original game you had to actually do, because that's one of the first games where you beat it, and then like the new game plus was actually a different game, and that's when you met Mr. X. You didn't meet him in the original like playthrough. So no matter what side you played on, you didn't meet him until you played the new game plus.
And it's been pretty fun listening to. I mean, Leon kind of takes me out of it. The Capcom like one-liners of like, oh man, I guess I got, like it's just like
it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad, but
terrible.
It's good.
But Resident Evil, they make up for all of that in Resident Evil.
Yeah, so I've been enjoying that game quite a bit. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else. I've been watching finished Stranger Things. Have not watched the last 2 episodes of Kenobi. Haven't caught up on Miss Marvel, so we got to do all that. And I'm looking forward to doing that. I've just been told from Alan that Thor comes out this week or next week.
This week.
Thursday. Week. So it's all
3 p.m.
It's all falling apart for me a little bit, but we're holding it together. So, and then I got this new audio board. So, now we can do sound effects. We can have applause. And then whenever Yendi talks crap or says something controversial, we got and so I'm excited.
A lot of that.
So I'm excited to add all these sounds and play with this thing. So I missed you guys though. So it's been a minute.
So a little bit of breaking news here.
Hit us.
The new games for Xbox Game Pass have been leaked, and looks like we have 2 of the most requested games. First one is My Friend Peppa Pig, and then Power Wash Simulator. So,
what is it?
Everybody rejoice and thank the Xbox gods. Carry on.
Mike, did you stop us for that?
Yeah, Peppa Pig and Power Wash Simulator.
I appreciate you.
I'm thinking we're gonna get a big heavy hitter.
Many people have been asking for that, guys. Xbox.
Okay. But I know they did
all the right moves.
They did add some new games though that were pretty good though.
Also,
but anyway,
because it's not. I wanted to mention because it's not in the show notes either. Sucker Punch, if you're a Sly Cooper fan, has come out and said that there's nobody even touching that game, so stop making rumors. So, and I was like, oh, okay.
They're here to destroy your dreams. We are getting a Lollipop Massacre remake though.
I saw her trending. I was like, why is she all over my page?
Well, because that game became a cult classic out of nowhere. It was a really bad game, but it was just a lot of fun. But as far as for me, I've been watching pretty much with everything that is up to date. So Miss Marvel, Stranger Things. I'm gonna watch Thor on Thursday. As far as playing, Monster Hunter came out, and whenever Monster Hunter comes out, I got to get in at least 80 hours, so I'm prepared for that. I've been enjoying that a lot. I don't know, something about the Monster Hunter games and that it's a kind of grind that I like because it's just fun when you play with 4 friends. So I'm looking forward to that, even though my Pro Controller just got drift and I couldn't play it this last 2 days. So it's and it's terrible because it's not even left to right, it's literally back. So like it's down. So even when I'm at the menu, I can't click on anything because the drift just goes down. I got frustrated. I bought a new one on Amazon though, so should be playing some of that later. But let's get right into the show. We're going to talk about so with E3 not being this year and us getting what I guess our second year now without an E3 conference. And I guess we can consensusly agree that all of the gaming events were pretty disappointing. So I wanted to ask you, with the way that these gaming events went this year, does this show why we need an E3? Chris, I'll start with you.
I say yeah, because everybody's prepping for the big showcase, but will those companies, at a business standpoint, they're going to be like, well, we're saving all this money from not going, so, and doing it ourselves. So they're never going to do it. But I feel like E3 was the big, like, okay, we have to come out hot this year, and we have all these lineups. And now we're getting to the point where they're all playing their own different games, and it's all weird. Very weird. The fact that, I like the idea at the beginning when Xbox was like, oh, all these games that you're going to see are going to come out in 12 months or within the year, and that kind of backfired a little bit. Like, we didn't get anything. We don't have much to look forward to in the future. And Sony had nothing there. I keep seeing GIFs on Twitter of Ragnarok, of like small gameplay and stuff like that. So everybody's confused with what's going on. Apparently,
Nothing.
They said, what's the director's name? That guy that made the first one.
Nothing is going on.
Well,
until you show me a date, nothing is going.
He said soon. We will get a video or some kind of update. And then Nintendo doing back-to-back tree houses. And then apparently there's a rumor that there's another one that they're going to do. So it's all over the place. They don't know what they want. Nobody knows what they want. And it just ends up being a boring, disappointing year. I really hope that E3 next year, since they are coming back, I hope these guys see like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should just focus on trailers and then just have this third party run everything else. So we don't have to worry about this. We can just focus on, what games are ready to be shown. And I hope they go that route. So I think we need E3. And if it's not E3, then start going to PAX or something. Get something out there. It has to be a convention. They can't keep doing this individual stuff because I feel like it's hurting them in the end. It's gone downhill ever since the console releases with them. So it just sucks.
Do you feel that it's that way because of the lack of games, or is it the format that you're just not a fan of?
I'm gonna say the format. I think everybody's format is just off, man. I just give me in, give me the live stream, and just be like, just start raffling off these freaking trailers. You know what I mean? Not. I don't need a direct a stream specifically for say they show
indie games.
Yeah, so it's that's what E3 was for. Whenever they showed, you would get the big showcase, right? People would tune into the big showcase, but E3 would be streaming all day, and you would get to see, they would have interviews with all these games. So you would have a list and be like, oh, I want to see more of Ragnarok. I'd like to know what's going on there. So I tune in at 12:30 on the list. If not, then I can skip it. You know what I mean? Not have this whole thing, this showcase dedicated to that one thing. So that's what I kind of miss, is just they would show the heavy hitters, and the games that you were interested in and wanted to learn more about, you would tune in again later in the day for their interview, and you would get to see gameplay or whatever else they had to show or get to talk about. So, yeah.
Fair. And do you think that we feel like, I agree with you in a sense, but do you feel like we feel that way is because we're used to E3 and this is just different? Or is it just like, I want E3 because I feel like that's the best format?
I feel like, because so far, I thought it would be okay. Oh, they all split off, whatever. So far, in the beginning, I felt like Nintendo, whenever they did break off and they did their own thing, I thought it was doing well. and now that's kind of going down the hill. Um, I I just don't like it would. I'd be happier if these things worked out. So far, every stream that I've watched, we leave going like, okay, this was cool, and that's about it. I don't think I've been hyped since we saw the opening trailer, the teaser for Knights of the Old Republic. Whenever we saw that, and that stream was that last year. That was last year,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that was last year, and that's probably the best thing. Like that was probably the most excited I got was those heavy hitters coming out because we got Spider-Man, we got God of War, we got all that stuff there, and that I haven't felt anything since then.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Starfield wasn't delayed, I feel like that would have been the hype game for me this year of like, oh my god. So the stream was just like, okay, this is interesting and I'm learning about this. But nothing crazy.
Fair. Yendi, what do you think? Do you think, with all these disappointing reviews, that this showcased why we need an E3?
What? What's the question?
I said pretty much the same question. I'm saying, with the way that fans are reacting to the events, does this show that we need an E3?
No, because I think E3's been dead for a while now. It's just been on its last legs.
Mhm.
Uh, Jeff Keighley's what's he call it? Summer Play Days or something.
Game Fest?
That's the next big thing. Things are going digital only. You know, having in-person events are cool too. And I'm sure, actually, I think next year's his event will be in person as well. But really, more people can access this as opposed to E3 because E3 used to be limited to just media, and you know, it kind of limited who could be there and see this stuff. But yeah, ever since I think the announcement of the last gen consoles, I thought E3 was pretty much done for. There was no point in having it because people were dropping out left and right, and it just didn't matter. It's kind of like when you go from having cable to streaming, and then now all streaming services are becoming cable again. It's
It's
that's
so
what's
true.
happening. That's what's gonna happen eventually. Right now we're in the streaming phase where everybody's doing their own thing, right? Eventually we're gonna. I feel like it's just a matter of time before either. I mean, I don't wish this, but Sony or Microsoft is like, hey, pay blah 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 to watch this whole thing where we showcase our plan for the next 5 years or so. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be like that. Everybody's gonna have their own show. I think that's not the ideal way of announcing new stuff, new hardware or games, but it's the best way for the specific company and for them to not spend as much money or resources because E3 used to be um, a pain for developers, especially because they felt like they had to rush out either demos to be able to show people what they're working on, and it just brings out so much more stress and crunch having to get ready for E3 itself. So yeah, right now I think the individual shows they all suck because there's nothing to announce. There's nothing exciting. It's not like in years past where E3 was something to look forward to because we knew we were going to get big announcements. But that's because all those games that were in production back then were ready to show at that point in time. But now we're kind of in a lull where all these big games are still in production and there's nothing really that stands out, aside from the God of Wars or the Horizons. But I feel like even Horizon didn't have that big of an oomph this year when it came out. Um, yeah, I mean, but I see maybe it could be next year, maybe 2, 3 years down the road, having another one big event where all these people come together. And I think Jeff Keighley is going to be leading that charge with his show. That's going to be the next E3.
Okay, fair. I agree with that, to an extent for sure. And so with that being said, so gosh, I forgot what my next question was because I didn't I didn't ask it in order. So with that, I'll give my thoughts and then the question will hit me. But I agree with both of you guys' points. I don't feel like we need an E3. I just feel like, and I just remembered my question. I was with that said, I just remembered it. With that being said, Yendi, so do you feel like it is because of the lack of titles rather than the format? Um, is that why you think they've been bad?
100%. Because even if you put on a show with like musical guests or crazy circus acts. People are there for the games, and if the games being shown aren't exciting or aren't anticipated, no one's gonna give a shit. No one's gonna remember, right? You remember the E3s where they showed off like the Metal Gear or the Halos or the Destinies. You know, you remember those because they were big announcements. There were new IPs. You're not getting any of that nowadays. It seems like it's if you do, it's a very long time in between those big titles, and there's just we're not getting that. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. So that I agree with both of your points. I feel like E3 was just something that we are used to, and because we're used to it, us seeing something different kind of makes it feel like it's not up to par. But I also think if Sony would have dropped a event where they just put out like Horizon, and then they showed God of War, and then they showed like Spider-Man, like within that one event, we wouldn't have like this same kind of discussion, and I don't think people would be as upset. I just feel like it is part of the lack of games being shown is has been a big issue because when you really think about it, like Andy said, besides Horizon, what have we seen that's been like, oh my god, that's actually come out, right? There hasn't been really anything that's been crazy that we've seen on one of these showcases that actually have come out. So I agree with that point where it's just like I think the lack of games is kind of really making these suffer, especially because we're not getting those prominent next gen titles. So I think that plays a part with it. But I do think E3 structure, like Chris's point, does make it to where the companies have to bring it, right? There's no timetable on like, oh, we can just bring like this mediocre game because Sony is not going to bring like its, major titles. And I feel like they're like kind of reacting off of each other instead of being proactive. And like Chris said earlier, like I loved Microsoft's idea saying, hey, everything you're out with months. The problem was we didn't see anything that we wanted to get in the next 12 months. But if they would have shown games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout and things like that, people would have been like, okay, this is hype. So I definitely think the game choices matter on what is being presented, and that's why kind of these lackluster. We've been getting some of these lackluster gaming events, but I think next year's in total, I think we'll get better ones just because the titles of the games, and I feel it's
Oh,
gonna make them go, hey, we really need to step this up.
your mic keeps cutting out like a little bit long,
Like
or
too loud.
it just drops out completely. I don't know about too loud.
Oh,
But
that's weird. I don't know why it's doing
I
that.
will say there was another game that I was excited for. Devolver's stream, I did like.
Oh, Devolver is becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah, and
like,
and the
companies,
game
period.
Plucky? Is that what it's called? The 2D, 3D game?
I don't know. I don't think that's what it's called.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. That game, it looks beautiful. Okay, so that game got me hyped. And then I was excited for, what is it called, man? That Rick and Morty game that they want to make.
Which one?
The one that's like the guns are talking to you.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Yeah.
what
So
you're saying.
that
I
one
don't
looked
remember the name of it.
interesting, but I'm more excited for the Plucky Squire is what it's called. Look it up. It looks
No.
it looks different. It looks like a lot of fun, and I'm excited to play that game. That was probably one of the only ones I was like, oh man, their stream was actually pretty dope. But yeah,
Yeah, I think Devolver is actually being like really good with their game titles and stuff. I've really enjoyed Devolver's games. I'm playing Trek to Yomo still, and it's been fantastic. But anything else you guys wanted to add on that part?
nope. I
All
mean,
right, move.
I just want I want something that what I really miss about E3 is, like I said, that just in between of like after the big show events. I miss those interviews, the one-on-one interviews with some of the directors and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yep.
if it comes back and Jeff Keighley does lead the charge, I hope he does it. But yeah, that's it.
One can hope. One can hope. All right, up to our next topic. Rockstar reportedly shelves some games in order to work on Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, I purposely didn't put the name of the titles in, but if you guys clicked on the thing, you would see what they shelved. So, Rockstar has shelved Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 4 remasters to focus on Grand Theft Auto 6, following the poor reception of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy remake. So, this is over at IGN by Amelia Zollner. I hope I said your last name right. But she goes and says Rockstar reportedly shelved planned remakes, including Red Dead Redemption, the original one, and Grand Theft Auto 4 to focus on the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6. This is after Grand Theft Auto the trilogy. The definitive edition was released to negative reviews from critics and fans alike. According to a prominent leaker and reported by Kotaku, both Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto 4 remasters were on the table a few years ago, but Rockstar chose not to proceed with the project in mind. However, according to Kotaku, these projects weren't fully canceled and could possibly see a return to development after Grand Theft Auto 6 releases. As per a reliable source with clear accuracy on Rockstar's plans, remasters of Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1 were on the table a few years ago, but Rockstar chose not to proceed with them projects in mind. So it says Tez, this came over from Tez. It said Tez attributed the cancellation of these remakes to especially poor receptions from last year's Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remastered, which received a 5 in IGN's review for its sloppy redesign and straight up broken mechanics. So, with that being said, guys, is it about time that they just worked on Grand Theft Auto 6? And why did it take them so long to realize that they needed to be really working on Grand Theft Auto 6? I'll go with you, Yendi.
Take-Two is greedy. They can't get enough of GTA Online money, and they want to continue to get more. And this would be easy money because it's just a money printer. People are gonna buy this shit up like crazy, even after the debacle that was the remakes for what was it?
Trilogy remake.
Trilogy, yeah, which has been released already a few
Yeah.
times. So, good. Stop wasting time on that and focus on what the people actually want. And I mean, it's that plain and simple. I don't think there's much. Don't waste time. Focus on GTA 6. Let's get it in people's hands so we can continue that cash flow, and get those shareholders to be happy. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, for sure. So with that being said, now that it feels like they're really putting their foot forward, what would you say is an expected release date now?
GTA 6.
Yeah.
Since they teased something not too long ago, I'm still thinking 2024, early 2024. We might
Early 2024?
get an announcement that it'll be released at the end of 2024.
Okay.
Maybe.
And do you think so besides the fact that what made you think they finally, besides the poor reviews, what made you what do you think really made them go, you know what, guy, it's been way too long?
My bet it was an internal thing. The devs probably had a meeting. They're like, hey, instead of wasting time on this, nobody's really asking for it. What they're asking for is GTA 6. Let's focus our resources on getting this game finished and in time, and not like in 2028. So if we want to continue that cash roll, that bankroll, baby, we gotta let this thing go out and develop the new GTA Online. So I think it was an internal thing.
All right, Chris, what do you think? Is it about damn time that they put their foot forward on Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yeah, I would think so. I honestly think they're just trying to get it out as soon as possible so they can do what they did to 5, where it's like it's going to be on all these consoles, and I think I honestly think beforehand we weren't going to see GTA 6 until close to the end of this console generation. Like, I thought it would be, in my head, I thought this game would be the one that's like, this is going to transfer over to whatever's next. But I agree with Yendi with the release date. I think it's going to be 2024. I think we get something next year. But it's funny how quickly this game went from a rumor to it's in production to now we're getting teasers already. So what I'm hoping is that they're not rushing so much that they put out they, their target on the board is what is it called? Early release. You know what I mean? And they put that tag on there. Like, let's just get it to the early release tag, and then they'll buy it, and we can just keep going from there. And
I think
unfortunately, I
GTA
think that's what
Online
it's
will
gonna.
be early
Yeah,
access
it's
for
gonna be
sure.
early access, and it's gonna be like, oh, we're just gonna keep updating it, and we go from there. I think we'll get. I think we'll get. I don't know, man. I'm hoping. I'm scared that they're gonna do like, oh, here's online, right, and we'll be able to play certain areas, and the campaign comes out later. Kind of like what Halo did. Like, here's your multiplayer. Story comes back, or story comes out later. So I hope they don't do that because I really like the GTA storyline. Did they fix the trilogy, or is it just like did they update it enough to? Okay.
I don't know. I think they just like literally was like, "Oh, we're sorry," and then just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, so talk to us
But,
about the trilogy, huh? The what?
Huh? The what? We didn't drop that. What are you talking about? Yeah, I agree with you guys, both your points. It's about time. I mean, honestly, I feel like they've been working on this game already and just haven't told us. And I feel like this is part of their like, oh, by the way, we're dropping it earlier than you expected. I think the time frame was always 2024. I feel like this is one way to keep yourself in, because I mean, I feel like it's hard to remember a time where Rockstar was unprepared for a game release. Like, besides the original release of GTA Online, when obviously we have never seen like Grand Theft Auto Online as multiplayer, so it had like those major hiccups. But even then, there were like, besides that week or two, it got better after those, like, that second week. So I don't think they're unprepared to release this game. I do think they still needed a kick in the butt, but I also feel like this game was already like in production, because it's just I just trust Rockstar enough to not have a underprepared game. Like, because they just normally don't have it, right? Like, I just feel like any Rockstar title that I think of that's come out hasn't been like underwhelming. So I think it's been ready. Not ready, but I think it's where it's supposed to be. I think this is good that they are putting those other games on the shelves, because I mean, especially like Grand Theft Auto, like, I don't really like. I didn't love Grand Theft Auto 4. I thought it was great for when it came out, but if you go back, it was kind of like a bland story of going back to Liberty City. So I'm okay with them not making it. I'm not gonna lie though, I would have taken a Red Dead Redemption remake, because I just think graphically, especially with the way that they made Red Dead 2, if you gave me Red Dead 1 with those same graphics, like, I'm here for Red Dead Redemption 1 being remade. So but I'm okay with them waiting until we get Grand Theft Auto 6. I feel like that does need to come out, especially after GTA 5 has been on literally what, 3 console generations at this point. And I've gotten them on all of them. So I need to stop buying this game myself. I'm not helping the cause by having it on so many consoles. But I think they've milked it to the point where they're not going to make any more money on it. They're going to make the money on Grand Theft Auto Online, and I feel like they're going to do a transfer system for that, because of that game has been out so long. I don't think they would go to like a completely fresh start of GTA Online. I don't see them facing all that backlash, or at least giving you like half of the stuff that you like. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
a good portion. I don't know. I think they'll find a way, because I don't feel like you can just say, here, start from level 1 after you've been playing this game for what, 13, 14 years online. So we'll see though. Who knows? Like I said, I do trust Rockstar. Rockstar hasn't done anything yet to disappoint me, but neither did CD Projekt Red, and we saw what happened with Cyberpunk. So so you never
I'm
know.
gonna pull out the LPF predictions doc and add in
Okay?
my prediction that
For
GTA 6 will launch with GTA Online first in early access, and then the campaign will be about a month to 3 months later.
I second that.
Oh,
I think
no.
no. I'll say it releases early, right? We get a release date. We get a release date for the actual game, but we can start playing early. Up until and we get the campaign on the release date. And I wanted to
Yeah, I
say
think
real quick too, GTA 5, I bought that while I was living at my mom's house.
yes.
That's crazy.
I bought GTA 5 on Xbox 360.
That's
Like,
nuts.
like I
Your
have it
prediction,
on.
Chris?
What's up?
What's your prediction for GTA 6?
We get a release date, but we get to play before the release date. We get to play GTA Online before the release date, and we get the campaign on the release date. If that makes sense. Word it however.
We get to play GTA Online before the release date.
And the
But you
campaign will
get-
release
On the release date.
on the
The
release
release date will be
the
for
whole
the
game.
campaign.
Yeah, the whole
For
game.
an early access.
Yes.
multiplayer.
Early access GTA Online.
I'm going to predict it's the opposite of what you guys are saying. I think we get the single player and then the multiplayer comes out later.
They do that. That is our track record. We always do get the story. They're like, you're playing this freaking story because we've been working on it.
I think they follow what they've been normally doing, and I think we get the game, and then maybe a couple months later we get an online fleshed out. Because I feel like they have to do things to, especially like with that mass following they have on GTA. I feel like there's a lot more because the story has already been worked on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the story is already done. Not like it's not made yet, but like the story, what they're gonna do, the missions and all that. I feel like that's already laid out. I feel like the moving part is the multiplayer. So I think we get the multiplayer after. For
All
sure.
right, it's been written down. We shall see now.
Nice. We shall see when we whenever that game decides to come out, when it gets delayed about 4 times.
Release date.
Release date, I am going to say
You want a specific month?
summer. Can I give you like I'm going to say summer of 2024.
Let's do quarter. Give them a quarter.
Quarter? So that'd be quarter 2.
Q3?
Quarter 2. Okay.
That'd be Q2. No, yeah, you're right. You're right cuz Q2 is spring. Yeah, Q3. Q3. Yeah, Q3 sounds good. Now, what you got, Yandy? What do you got? What's your
Mine's released Q4.
Okay, and Chris?
Q4 for the holidays.
Yep.
Right. 2 Q4s and me as a Q3. So we will bring out this document when this game actually gives us release date, and we'll see who is right, and we'll figure out what the prize is for the person getting it right. You know, who knows? Maybe somebody sends us
I'll buy a
a
crown.
DoorDash or
Hold on 1 second.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
1 second.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I know
Alex,
what's coming.
Go ahead. Let's see if you do know what it is. Go ahead, please.
I know what's coming. Is this about the first ever placed bet on the LPF?
Yes.
I was wondering when you were. I didn't want to say anything because I wanted to know. I wanted to know when you were going to catch it. So
Chris?
don't even say anything. Just if you guys have been listening to us for a while, you know what we're talking about. So when this happened,
about it last week. I'm like, did he? No, he didn't, did he?
Tuesday,
Chris.
We talked about it. Next Tuesday, Chris. Oh God.
I don't know about next Tuesday. I mean, hey, whenever you just that's
you will
between
be
you
the
two.
show. We did a bet, and I have it in writing.
He does. And like I said, we're gonna keep it a surprise. If you guys have been with us, you'll know.
Tuesday.
Yeah, if you guys know, you know. So we're gonna leave it as a surprise. All right.
I don't think I can get it dressed by next Tuesday.
Hey, don't say what it is.
Oh,
don't
sorry.
say what it is.
Hey, you got to make it happen, man. You know, it's just.
Look, I don't think it should be next Tuesday. I think he should have a little bit of time now that he remembered.
Okay, fine.
But
it needs to happen.
We won't say what it is, and our everyone will be happy to see.
Black Magic says he'll pay for our lunch, the winner's lunch for
Oh,
GTA
perfect.
predictions.
Let's go. You already know what to do. All right. So moving on to our last topic of the day, we are going to this topic I found funny because I just read this before the show went live, and it dates back to a past conversation we had. But I wrote the title was, and this is why microtransactions won't go away. So, Diablo Immortals is reportedly making $1 million a day, despite its criticism. So this is over from VGC. Let me see who wrote this article. This is by Jordan Midler. He says Diablo Immortals is making more than $1 million per day despite the criticism. The game has been downloaded over 10 million times, it's claimed. Diablo, it says, according to the data from App Magic published by Mobile Games, according to the data, the mobile entry in Diablo franchise, which was released last month, has sustained a steady stream of revenue despite its ongoing criticism from fans of the series. Revenue from the title peaked just over a week after launch, with Blizzard earning $2.4 million. However, now, over a month after the release, with the negative public sentiment still surrounding the game, Diablo Immortals is still pulling more than $1 million per day. The game has surpassed 10 million downloads as of last month, allows players to purchase a large number of items from its in-game stores. It says, despite the strong revenue performance, Diablo Immortal has been met with a strongly negative reception from users. Earlier this month, the game's Metacritic user score dropped to 0.2 out of 10, the lowest ever in the website's history. This included a report published during the game's opening weekend that calculated it could cost players up to $110,000 to fully upgrade a character in the game. And then it goes on to say, as outlined in a Reddit thread, there's a whole level of upgrades that only unlock once a player manages to get to their 5-star gems to rank 10, doing this estimated to cost $40,000 in loot boxes, according to the thread. Shortly after the launch, the game director Wyatt Chang claimed that Twitter's backlash the game was based on misinformation surrounding it. Hold on. But Yendi, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, I don't know shit about Diablo, but I do know that there's some dumb people out there who will spend money on anything. I'm saying all of them. There are smart ones out there that just play the game and don't pay for anything. But I mean, can you be mad at Blizzard for putting out something and people consuming it? I don't think so. But you know, people are gonna do what people are gonna do. So whatever. Good for them that they made 100 million. Hopefully they go towards not being that many sexual harassment cases in the company, and you know, bettering their team, getting better developers and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
we all hate microtransactions. We all do. But
Do we
because
though?
of we all do. I do. I hate them.
Do we though?
I buy them. I hate them. You can still you can still hate something that you like, you know?
So,
Well, no, you know what
yeah.
I meant.
I
So,
just find it funny that, we like, I feel like the consensus of people say, oh, we dislike microtransactions. We don't like it. But instead of not buying it, people just buy it anyway. And then the game succeeds because, like, this is all our fault. This is 100% our fault. This is all gamers' fault right here. This is why microtransactions won't go anywhere, because for a game to get a 0.2 on a Metacritic score and still be raking in $1 million a day, what are we doing and why are we doing it? I haven't spent a dime on this game and still been enjoying it, which is surprising. But what are we doing? $1 million?
I mean, it kind of brings me back to whenever I was when Genie Plus came out and I was at Rock and Roller Coaster, and I'd get those people that come up and, hey, I'd like to purchase this. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so it's $15. Yeah, a person. What?
Yeah.
A person. That's ridiculous. I can't believe blah blah blah. So you don't want it? I mean, I'm gonna take 5, but I think that's just ridiculous that I have to do it as they swipe the card.
Absolutely. No, and I agree with that person
Yeah.
because, like, at the end of the day, like, you can't sacrifice your trip, right? Like, you want to ride on the thing, which is why, like, I can understand that more than this. Like,
I
you know what I mean?
mean,
Like, you're not forced to buy these microtransactions.
in
Like,
Diablo, you're not. I
yeah,
thought you kind of
you're
needed
not forced.
some
No, no,
things.
no, no, no.
Okay, all
It
right.
just takes more time. Is it an
Uh,
exaggerated amount of time? Yes, it is an exaggerated amount of time. Will you get there way faster if you spend it? Absolutely. But that's not the thing is that you can still play the game without buying anything. Like it's the same thing with like Apex, right? Like you can play Apex without buying anything, but they give you the option and they give you really cool things in order for you to purchase it. But I mean, for a game to be like I said, this like criticized this bad and to still be making this much money is ridiculous. But Chris, what did you think?
um, it's just it's stupid, bro. I'm so it's dumb. There's people gonna be the reason why I think they're getting so much money too is because these big I'm pretty sure there's big streamers out there that are gonna drop a ton of cash and be like, look, here's all this stuff. So they think they're investing in the stream so they can be the first to have everything. Um, I would be more interested in if somebody could do the math and the numbers and do all that and see, okay, I paid for it, I get it in 5 minutes compared to how like the
Time it would
normal,
take.
yeah, how long would it actually take? Because
You know why
I
it
feel,
probably hasn't come out because it takes too long to
yeah,
make that.
yeah, it could be like months. You know,
Yeah,
it'd be crazy to
absolutely.
see. Um, uh, I don't know why people are playing the game. I saw people playing it at work too. They're playing it on their phones. They like
It,
they're having fun.
the
I mean,
com-
so, they're like it's not a bad game, but at the same time, man, like it's just I don't know. It's kind of like why I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. There's
yeah.
nothing to play right now, and it sucks that that's the excuse that
No, I mean it
people are
just
looking for
scratches.
stuff.
I think it scratches people's Diablo 4 itch, because like in theory, this is like even though they've said that Diablo 4 won't be won't have this same kind of style and stuff like that. Like as far as playing wise, um, I think people are just so much of a fan of Diablo
Yeah.
that they're just like having the access to play it mobile. I think really helps because like you can just go out, do a couple missions, do your dailies like on your phone, and that's going to kill like 30 minutes to an hour, right? And I think people like that aspect of the game is that I can pull it out, I can play Diablo real quick, and the fact that you have the cloud save, so like I can play it on my phone, and then when I go home I can put in another 2 hours and everything is saved. So I think people are really enjoying that aspect of it. Obviously I think a lot of people haven't gotten to end game yet, which is why they haven't been spending any money, because I think the end game is where the grind actually begins,
Yeah.
of like as far as you needing to get top tier gear and stuff like that. So I think it is part what you they're like I think it being a mobile game helps why people are actually still like actually playing it. Um, but still, $1 million a day is kind of crazy to me. But I mean, hey, that is the world of gaming that we have entered with microtransactions. And guess what, guys? This is why it'll never go away, because until we stop buying it, you see what happened with Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
And people didn't buy the trilogy, and look, they went, oh, we need to come out with new stuff. So if they did that with Diablo, even though Diablo 4 looks really good, and I'm really excited.
Now, to play devil's advocate, there are in this crazy world we're living in, where we have this in pretty much every game, there are microtransactions that are okay because they're not predatory. They are just cosmetic and they're 100% optional. But then there
Mhm.
are those that are extremely predatory and pay to win. Those are the ones that are not okay. I've
Yeah,
accepted the fact that microtransactions are now a part of gaming, the entire industry. It's a thing. It's a fact. You're not gonna get rid of it because it makes money. Uh, with that being said, I was very against microtransactions in the beginning. I was 100%, nobody could convince me otherwise. But then slowly over time, I started buying stuff. And GTA, I think, was the first time actually. I spent more money
Really?
on microtransactions than I did on the game itself, buying the game itself. So over
Wow.
the year, over like the first 3 years, I spent probably $200 to $300
Ooh.
just on either uh yeah, microtransactions. And
Yeah,
that's
like the
so on
money,
top of the game itself, that's $60. It's probably a lot more than that. But like
mm,
Valorant is a good example of skins
not
that
necessary.
do no harm, right? You don't have to get the skins, but they're just cosmetic. They look nice. They give you something different to look towards or work towards, because you can still unlock them without paying for them either. But
Just takes time.
unnecessary evil in this game, in this day and age, unfortunately, and I can't wait until either something better comes along, but I doubt it. I don't know
Ads.
what's gonna get rid of ads, in-game ads. We had a theme about that one
Uh,
show.
yep.
Um,
Ads.
that might be the
That's gonna
future.
be it.
That might be the
That's
future.
gonna
Yep.
be it. That's
So
gonna be it for sure. I think, yeah. I mean, I agree with Yendi though, 100%. If it's not messing with my gameplay, I'm fine. Obviously, Diablo, I know it's messing with my gameplay once you get to the end game because it's just that's how it is. But cosmetics like Valorant, League of Legends, stuff like that, that doesn't bother me as much because I don't have to have the skin. I just really want the skin. So, and I think that's the biggest difference with microtransactions. I'm okay with it if you don't affect my gameplay. So that
Call of
is what I'm
Duty,
going.
Call of Duty actually has, you know, a pay-to-win skin currently. For
What?
$20, you can yeah, for $20 you can buy the skin, which is pretty much version 2 of the Rose skin, Chris, where it's all black, and then once you get into shadow, you can't see the person. You cannot see the person no matter what. Even though they have like purple little lines going down, it's Rose 2.0, and it's you, I'll send the link to Jack Fragg's video on it where he lays down in a black corner in the dark corner. People look at him, pass by. They don't see him. That to me is pay to win. Because if you have the skin and no one can see you, you have an upper hand. You have an advantage. You get the drop on people. Unofficially, of course, but some
It is what it
people will
is.
say it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but hey, here we are. I mean, the real thing is that you should just stop playing Call of Duty. But I digress.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how. I know why I'm still playing it. I know why I'm still playing it, and it's because Battlefield failed.
That's true.
And that's the whole. But Call of Duty's filling that hole, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Or we could
And
put all those
it
hours. We could put
it's
all those
doing a
hours
good
into
job,
Valorant.
huh?
You could put all those hours into Valorant.
Bro,
He
I
won't make it. He won't
there
make it.
are games, right? Like I'll start a multiplayer game, I'll play it, I'll be fine. For some reason, every single match of Valorant, my hands are sweaty, my fucking heart rate is up like crazy, every single one, and I have no idea why. I don't know what it is about that game that just like physically gets me like on edge.
It's a
That's
That's why
competitiveness.
it's not good for my health. It's not good for my health, and it makes me rage. And
So
I
that's
hate
why you need to not play it.
Well, no, we need to
exactly.
play it. You just need to play it with a group of people. We need a full team.
Yes,
That's what we need.
yes, that's what we need.
A full
That's
team
what we
that's
need.
like, oh, when we lose, it's still funny. Like it's just we're
And
just laughing.
Ryan's getting back into it. Him and I played. He's complete trash, but he knows it, and he's gonna work on it. But at
Okay.
least that's three people right there. He can be our bait. Uh, but yeah, Call of Duty is the easiest thing I can get to right now, where it's crossplay and it's mindless fun. You don't have to think about anything. You just shoot, boop boop boop. Have fun. That's it. Boop boop boop.
I respect that. I respect that. Well, that is going to be it for us today, guys. Thank you for joining us for episode 63 of the LPF show. We shall be back next week at the same time. If you guys like the video, do all that good stuff, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think about Grand Theft Auto 6 and all that other good stuff that we talked about in today's show. But until next time,